The courses there, you know, some of them are not remarkable compared to ours, but the biggest difference over there I found was these radically steep hills. Like they have no worries about tearing up an embankment like this, and that's the main difference in the courses there. Otherwise, they're pretty normal from what we see in modern times here in Colorado, except for these just radical steeps. And when I was practicing the course, I couldn't even ride this lower slope, and definitely not the upper slope. And then once the race started in the elites, they all rode the lower slope, which was pretty awesome. Sven was there. Top riders like this get paid to go to these races, and this is not a part of a World Cup or any series, so he has no reason to be there, but he gets paid about 5,000 euros, which is like $8,000 just to take the start. It's all funded by the entry fee. All the spectators have paid to be there. I don't know, Sally, how much you paid to get into this one, but
no, they give me a wristband.
She got in because I was racing, or I thought I was racing, but about $10 to get in as a spectator. Now this photo has a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but one was if you read my blogs on Keller's site this winter, he's running those white file tread tires, which is a tire with no tread except for a very, very fine herringbone pattern. And it's just insane because the conditions for file treads would be totally dry and smooth, or maybe complete snow and ice, where knobbies are ineffectual. But he used them on this course to get the lighter rolling resistance. They do roll faster than a knobby. But you would never think about using them here, where it's just greasy, icy mud, and he used them. So I was in the pit, and this guy with the black jacket is Jeff Proctor, and Jeff runs a Euro Cross Camp, which is an individual effort that he undertook a number of years ago to bring Americans to Europe. And he does it on his own dime, and now he partners with USA Cycling, but he's still donating his time. And I raced with Jeff back in the 90s. We've been friends a long time, and it was great. I spent a lot of time with him there this winter, and that is Jeff. And this guy on the right, I think, is one of the American mechanics. And the pits, I always love checking out the pits there. And these are all this Karcher power washer, and Karcher is a European brand of power washer that's the best. And the race organizers supply these. And it's enough to simultaneously wash, you know, like 6 bikes. Wow. And it's all fully pro and fully set up. Generators, water, everything. It's really cool. So Sven won. That guy on his left is really the top up-and-comer rider. Tom Musayan is a Belgian 23-year-old who races in elite sometimes, and he was second on the day, and he's a favorite to win tomorrow, I think, is the U23 World Championships. He rides for Fidea, and that's a name to watch out for, and it's pretty cool. He's the top up-and-coming rider in the world. So here are the leaders, like third lap. Oh. That's Sven, and Tom is in second wheel there. And they've already seen him drop back down.
Wow, where's everybody else? Holy God.
There they are, and you'll see, I don't know all these riders, but Paige, I think, is third wheel right there. There's Paige in the black. That's Jeremy Powers. The daily ritual is washing my bikes. I spent a lot of time washing bikes. We had this small courtyard in our apartment, and I brought over all my bike washing equipment, and because I'd spend every afternoon or evening doing that. And then we always hit the beer in the evening and sampled many different types. And this is one of my favorites, La Chouffe from the Ardennes in southern Belgium, a small microbrewery that makes great beer. You can get it here at liquor stores and sometimes at Liquor Mart. And this is from the town of Houffalize. I wrote about this on the blog, if you read it, but the town of Houffalize is famous for their annual mountain bike World Cup, which I did a few times. And I visited this brewery back in the 90s when I was a mountain bike racer. And so then to go back this year and then, you know, see it in the grocery store, just in like the Safeway, and buy a 4-pack was awesome.
It's got a little gnome on it, dude.
Yep. Because they're in the mountains of Belgium and the Ardennes, and it's like troll and gnome country, I guess. Yeah. So it was Christmas. We went before Christmas, and that Christmas was a couple days after we arrived. And they do Christmas great there in Northern Europe. And the pastry shops and chocolate shops especially, all these little chocolates everywhere. And these Christmas cakes, like these Christmas logs, every family buys one, and they're amazing with these decorations like this.
It's hanging out of Rudolph's mouth.
The other crazy thing is how their traditions with Santa are different. Santa comes in the window in Europe. He doesn't come down the chimney. When you live in an apartment building, you know, the chimneys don't work too good. And so they display him in all these funny ways. It always looks like Santa's like, yep. He's hanging on a railing, or he's like dangling from a rope, or he's on a rope ladder outside windows, and you see him all over. And he wears a backpack. He doesn't have a sack. He needs both hands. He needs both hands for climbing. Here's another Santa. He's like, this is a pub or a bar. You think he's getting tortured. He's like So our good buddy, this guy Michel Bejorac, is he's really a famous Belgian mechanic. He's worked for pro mountain bike and cyclocross teams, and especially Americans. If you're an American pro and you want to go to Belgium, you need a mechanic. For the past 10 years, Michel is the go-to guy, and he's just a wonderful individual. And he worked here at Boulder Cycle Sport for a month the first year the shop opened, and he lived in Boulder for a period, and he's friends with anyone you want to say, from Sven Nys to Heather Ermiger and Greg Keller. And we connected with him, and his family invited us to his home for Christmas Eve, which is something that many American cyclocross racers have done. And it's just sort of a tradition for Americans to go to Michel's house for Christmas Eve. And they have a fire, and his mother cooks a wonderful meal, and you drink lots of wine, and it was a great way to spend Christmas Eve for our family. We woke up the next day, and Santa had visited our apartment, and Mommy and Daddy didn't get too much. All the little towns in Belgium set up skating rinks in their town square. It's like you see it all over. It's really cool. Temporary skating rinks, and we had one in Oudenaar. We skated there a bunch. It was really fun. And we met Jonathan Page there and his family, and here's his little son Milo. And Emma's, his little daughter, is Ella's age, and we played with them a lot. And they live in Oudenaar, which is one of the reasons we decided to base our vacation there. In addition to other reasons, it's a great town for cycling, and it was great to hang out with the Page family. And we went to their house on Christmas Day to play with the kids and have Christmas dessert.